community.
Okay. Okay.
All right. It is good to see everybody on tonight. It is 7:30 and I'll call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Yes, I'll start the roll call off with Alderwoman West. Absent. Alderwoman Tapman.
Here.
Alderwoman Reed. Absent. Alderman Carroll. Absent. Alderman Thomas.
Present.
Alderman Perry.
Perry is absent and excused.
Excused. Okay. Alderwoman Dales.
Present.
Alderwoman Avant Elliott. I'm sorry. Oh, absent. And Mayor, the city attorney just called me and she says she's having problems signing on, just as she did last time, and she'll get in as soon as she possibly can.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so you have 3 present and 5 absent.
All right, so we do not have a quorum. So in the absence of a quorum, we cannot conduct city business. However, we can make a report to the community. And that's what we will do tonight, as we've done the last few board meetings, is that we'll have our staff to just give a report to the community. I don't see the reason why you guys should not be up to date, because we don't have a quorum. So the first thing we will do,
I'm trying to find that.
You're trying to find what?
I hear some background and I'm trying to find where it's coming from, but I can't find it.
Okay. We will start off with the public. The meeting is open to the public, and we will hear from you, and then we will get reports from our committees, and then we will also hear from you at the close of the meeting. We will hear from the public at the close of the meeting. So is there anyone from the public who would like to share with the board at this time? Just remember, you'll have a second time to do it at the end. Peg.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I'm curious as to what is the status of the problems with the Influence Church on Bell Fountain Road. I recall that Pat Barrett asked the city attorney to write the church ministers a letter about their occupancy of the building, and that the mayor was going to take care of it with the ministers of that church. I'm just wondering what the status is.
Well, I met with the church the other day and shared with them what I thought they could do in order to solve the problems. And what I suggested to them was that they would turn the trucks around and point the motors in a different direction on the other end of the building. The director that I talked to, we went out and looked at it, measured it off, and thought it could probably work for them and work for us as well. Problem that they're going to have to correct before they can do that is that that's a pretty deep slope there. And so it's got to be some leveling for the trucks to set, kind of straight up. And so once we solve that problem and turn the trucks around, I think we'll be okay.
Okay, I also need to, for Fran's sake, I need to say this is Peg Warnes at 10030 Crete Drive.
Mhm.
Thanks, Peg. I had you down already though, because I know yours.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Oh, and just give your name and address, please.
Mr.
Hi,
Mayor.
my name Mamuna Gordon. I'm at 1122 Jenny Station Road.
Say that name
And
again.
my question, I've been reaching out with my alderman about the street of Jenny Station Road, all the speeding that's going on. Seeing if we can get something done with this street.
On Jenny Station Road.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. We're gonna address some of those issues later on. Keith will address that. But we are looking at, Jenny Station Road is not, it's just one street that we have to deal with. Bell Fountain Road is one, Chambers is one, Shepley is one. What is it? Those other two streets, they escape my memory right now. But yes, that's one streets we have to look at, and believe me, we are looking at them very closely. We're gonna come up with something.
Okay, thank you.
Meeting in our community.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, who's speaking?
Michael Weezy, 1300 per Shaw. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Michael, how you doing? I didn't.
I'm good.
Good.
I want to go back to Influence Church for a minute. Thank you for following up with them. I appreciate it. Have they applied for an occupancy permit?
Now that part I don't know. I didn't get into the occupancy permit. That's something that I'm sure the building department could answer that question. I can't answer.
Okay. I mean, my only concern is, and I brought this up at Planning and Zoning the other night, using Florida as an example, if something was to go wrong there, something catastrophic, and you know how I am, I'm a little anal about this stuff, there would be liability for the city because everybody would say, well, why don't they have an occupancy permit? And why don't we have a fire inspection? You know what I mean?
Well, it wasn't done when they moved in. I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Well, hopefully the building department will follow up. I just think it's exposing us a bit.
Right. Yeah. The building department, I'm sure. I will speak with Joe. We will follow up on that.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Everisha Perry, 1200 block of Danville. I'm wanting to know a status on the fencing around the cemetery at Bell Fountain Road and Jennings Station Road. It is located in Bell Fountain neighbors. So I wanted to know a status on that, please.
Yes, that will be addressed later on by the building department. But we've discussed it, and I don't want. I'll let him tell you.
All righty, thank you.
Owners have decided to do about that.
All righty, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is Kathy Mason at 1013 Donnell. For those people who are having problems getting on Zoom, I know they all need to get on Zoom so you can see them. But for those of us that are residents, I do the call in to that Chicago number and then just put the password in and the ID, and it works every time. And actually, I would think that the lawyer could do that because she doesn't really vote. So that might be like a backup plan.
Good afternoon. This is Dorothy White Coleman. That is exactly what I did. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kathy. You're just like Speedy Gonzalez. You talk and stuff happens. Lisa,
Oh, wow.
Miss Wallace.
Yes, this is my action. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, how you doing, Mayor? I'm relatively new to Bell Fountain Neighbors and the Riverview School District. This will be my third year in this district. I received a letter over the weekend, and I was rather bothered by it because I didn't agree with it. And it just was kind of odd to me that I received this letter because since we have been here, I've never received a letter from you, as a citizen, and to receive a letter like this, it just seemed kind of, I don't know, it just made me feel a kind of way. I recently became a member of the Riverview Communications Committee. So Dr. Elliott is one of the members in that also, and I have a great relationship with her. And like I said, I was just really bothered by this letter. It just seemed like it was kind of condescending. And, you know, for this to be the first letter that I've received from, I guess you as the mayor, kind of threw me. I've suffered two tragedies since I've been here. One was a shooting and a bullet came through my home, and my daughter could have been killed by this. And, you know, again, by me receiving a letter like this for the first time, I didn't like this. This just seemed like it's a lot of trouble involved in this letter, and it disturbed me.
All right, well, I will have to look into the letter because I did not personally send you that letter. However, as a mayor of the city, I'll take responsibility. But give the clerk your address and number so that I can get back with you on that.
Okay.
Mrs. Latasha Morgan.
Good evening. My name is Latricia Morgan. My address is the 15,000 block of Druid Drive. And so I did receive a letter, and I have been in communication with individuals on our neighborhood's website. So it's just very interesting in some of the feedback that I've received from some of our alderpersons. And if anybody read it, you would know that I have been respectful to everybody in a respectful space, but I just find it to be appalling, and it's
Ms. Morgan, you're breaking up. I can't hear you at this moment.
I think her computer froze.
Do you have any computer problems there?
Yes.
But we'll come back to you if things get resolved. Remember, there's another opportunity to speak later.
Okay, but then I also had a concern. I had a concern about our panhandlers located at the corner of Bell Fountain Road here, right at 270. Individuals have come to my car a few times. This is both early in the morning as well as when I'm getting.
You're out all the time. I can't hear what you're saying.
I don't know if you can hear me because
I can for a moment, and then you just go out. But I tell you what you do. You call City Hall and
muted, and there's a lot of stuff going on. And for myself as a resident, but also for those individuals who, you know, if somebody's, I apologize. I just wanted to make it known that I did have issues with the panhandling that's going on there, and I will
I'm sorry. Much of what you said, we could not hear you.
To further.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Is there anyone else who would like to share? Okay.
Hello, Mayor.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
I can.
This is Wanda Lane. I would like to make a comment about the letter that I received. Number one, I think it was excellent. It was accurate. I think that citizens need to know how our tax dollars are being spent. And right now, we are paying taxpayer dollars for elected officials not to attend the meetings. That is unacceptable. I am lodging my complaint again. I do not believe that elected officials should be paid taxpayer dollars while violating their oath of office. The letter was clear, concise, accurate, and as citizens, we should be all concerned about 4 individuals who are attempting to obstruct city government because they can't have their way, because that's what it boils down to. So thank you for informing the citizens who did not know actually what's going on in our city. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Mayor, excuse me, someone named Scott. Can you please mute yourself? I can't mute it, Mayor. Scott.
Anyone else?
Mayor,
All right.
this is Pastor Z. Mayor, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
This is Pastor Elliott. I just wanted to, I hate when misinformation is put out there. And so I'm just going to make this comment in reference to all the people being paid for being an alderperson and not attending meetings. There was an alderperson named Al Hurl who was on the board for quite a while, did not attend meetings. He was sick, didn't attend meetings, got paid for all of the meetings that he did not attend. And so I don't believe there's an ordinance that says that alderpersons have to be at every meeting. And I know there's been other people who have missed for different reasons. So sensationalizing people not attending meetings and making it into an issue as if it's a violation of ordinances when the business for the city is being taken care of, I think is misleading to the people overall.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I agree with him.
Okay. Anyone
So
else?
do I.
I disagree with that comment, Mayor. Alderman Al Hurl, the difference is his excuses were, his absence, were excused absences because he was ill. And there have been other, Mr. Elliott is correct. There have been other alder people who have not attended these meetings, and their absences were excused, whether they were on vacation, they had family emergencies, or what have you. These people's absences are not excused. When we don't have a quorum, we cannot vote. That is obstructing city business. There is an ordinance that states the Board of Aldermen meeting is the first and third Thursday of the month. That's part of our city ordinances. If that was not intended to mean that the alder people should attend the meeting to conduct city business, the meeting would just be citizens. So that's where legislation takes place, at the meeting. And these people are not attending the meetings, and that's obstructing the legislation. Where else is the legislating taking place? So that's my opinion, Mayor. Again, thank you for the letter.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Go right ahead. State your name and
My name's Gail Dedrick. I live at 10515 Byfield Drive. I just have a question, or have to question, why can the mediation not take place for everybody to resolve their issues?
well, my answer to that is what is it that we're going to mediate? You're either going to come to the meeting or you're not. So what is everybody else is attending? So what are we mediating?
The problems that you guys are having.
I beg your pardon?
the problems that you guys are having?
I'm not having a problem with them. They just not coming to meetings.
They're not coming to meetings because of how they're treated.
How they've been treated.
Well, you'd have to ask them that. I want to know about, you're kind of deflecting. I'd just like to know about the moderator, why that's such a horrible idea. If you don't have any problems, do it. What does it hurt? It shows good faith.
Well,
That you did everything you could.
I'm here and I'm willing to sit down with them anytime they want. But when it comes to negotiating, I see nothing to negotiate.
Moderation and negotiation are different.
Okay. Well, thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Dales. Oh, anyone else from the public, brother? Anyone else from the
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to answer the question from the last speaker. The reason why we're not going to what you may think is a moderation or mediator, we are adults. We were elected to come in and serve the people of the city of Bellefontaine neighbors.
I agree.
If an ordinance comes up and it is voted down, then that's the choice of the elected official. If you don't get the votes, you don't go home and cry like a little child and say you're not coming to the meetings. If you don't get your way because you don't have the majority of people to vote in your favor. And I'm gonna give you an example. If all the Democrats went home because they didn't like something that the former president did, they wouldn't be representing their people. When you are elected,
you're still deflecting.
When you're elected, there's not we agree to disagree. If you don't like it, you still have to represent the people and stand on the oath that you took.
All right. Okay, Alderwoman, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else?
I would like to try and speak again since I was so garbled before. I apologize.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so good evening. Again, I apologize for my powers going off and on here, but a couple of things. The first thing that I made mention to was that I'm one of the citizens that's on the neighborhood website, and I did have some conversations with a couple of aldermen in our area. And just like the other lady was saying, you know, I was very interested in why there couldn't be some civilized conversations so that people would be in attendance. It comes off pretty personal all the way around. Right. And I'm just an average citizen, and I'm just getting on here so that I can understand what in the world is going on, because it's crazy to me. And I've been on boards before, and this type of behavior would most certainly not be tolerated. So that's my comment on that. I don't have solutions for that, but I'm just hopeful that you all that represent us can come together and get things done for us as community. So if you all are representing your citizens and your citizens are saying, work it out as best you can, please, for us, then it seems like people will come together in a room as elected folk and work it out. You know, I saw stuff online about, you know, saying negative things about people because they were Christians and, you know, they're pastors and all this stuff. That has nothing to do with the business of Bellefontaine neighbors. It just doesn't. And so I'm just a very vocal person, and I'm just speaking my truth, and what other people who may never ever get on here and say what I'm saying out loud is, we got 4 votes in this house, and all 4 of us have voted in these elections. And so we're going to be paying close attention to the people who we said, and the person who I'm speaking of, I can't even think of his name right now, but he knocked on my door and he got 4 votes out of my house. And he said, I wish the people would pick a side. Well, here's my response to that, publicly on the record being recorded. When me and my family went to vote for you, sir, we were on your side. Okay, I'm picking the side today of the citizens. I'm one of them who live on Druid Drive, 15029 Druid Drive. And I just want people to get together and support our community. You know, we have options to leave here. I chose to move back over here. And I would like to stay here. But I'm done talking about, the automatic fluff. My next comment is about driving to work in the morning down Bell Fountain Road to 270, and there are panhandlers down here. Now, I know that people have issues. I have worked at food pantries. I do a lot of community services. So I'm not saying anything to be disrespectful to anyone who's having issues with eating, but I think that is not what's going on here. This seems to be a tag team of individuals around the clock down here trying to get money. I've had people to come to my window, and it can be scary at times. I have to admit that in the past, 2-3 years ago, I used to be one of those people roll my window down, give somebody $1. So I take my account for that. What I'm saying now is it's dangerous because these people are getting out off the sidewalk and walking kind of up that incline, coming off 270 where you make your right-hand turn to get on Bell Fountain, and somebody's going to get hit. So my concern is not only for the people who live here, but also those individuals who are trying to get funds. And so I suggest, I didn't want to just put something on the table without coming with a suggestion, is that we find out if they do need food, then, help them make a way up there on Wednesday. They give food away up there every Wednesday. There are all kind of pantries and other churches that are giving food away throughout the course of the week. So maybe we can put together a flyer inside a plastic container that can be put in the ground down there, so they can get a list of all the places to go to get food. If they have a home and they need support for their utilities, that information be readily made available to them. So I'm just saying that I just don't want anybody to get hurt. And then the thing would be, people say, well, call the police. Well, see, that's a whole nother thing. We don't want our police officers going down there and wasting time doing that, because there are so many other big things to be done. But I don't know what the solution is, but what I am saying is that I think it's a safety issue. Somebody's going to get hurt on their corner with them trying to get money. And I learned that the other side is Spanish Lake. That is not Bell Fountain, but clearly on our side, we can try to do something. So that was my long-winded comment, respectfully.
Thank you. The part where they're standing is not Bell Fountain. That's St. Louis County. That's MoDOT. That is not ours.
Understand?
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Anyone else? All right, then we will go to our department reports. City Treasurer.
Excuse me, Mayor. I'm sorry. I'm just.
Who is that?
And I had to unmute myself. You couldn't hear me. This is Connie Phillips, 1108 Dunford Drive.
Mm-hmm.
And before you go to your reports, I just personally want to thank Alder Lady Dale for assisting myself and some parents and students last week out of her own pocket. So, Alder Lady Dale, thank you so much.
Thank you. Connie Phillips.
Yes.
You may speak.
I did. You guys didn't hear me?
No, I didn't. I see your hand up. I didn't know you had spoken.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just coming on to personally thank Alder Lady Dales for assisting myself and some parents and students last week.
Mhm.
You personally came out of your own pocket and assisted these parents and students, and we all want to thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Anyone else from the public? All right, then we'll move down to our reports. The city treasurer's report. Is Howard on? Okay, I don't see him.
Hey, Mayor, I didn't see his name.
You what?
I didn't see his name come up, but that doesn't mean he's not one of the numbers.
All right, so then we'll go to planning and zoning report.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
We had a pretty full agenda on Monday's meeting. Under new business, we received a letter of intent from AmSpec Services LLC about operating a research and testing laboratory at 1150 Purcell Road. That's an M2 controlled industrial district. They're a testing service for certifying petroleum and agricultural products. They're similar to Intertech, which is a competitor of theirs who's been operating in the city for a number of years in the same area. Laboratories, research, experimental, and testing is an allowed use in an M2 district, so no conditional use permit is required. They will do some internal remodeling and have it inspected by the building department. They'll also have the facility inspected by the fire district and obtain a business license prior to operations. We had another couple, Raphael and Tanya Lewis, who were interested in operating a seasonal catering, grill, and food distribution establishment at 9312 Lewis and Clark, leasing a space in the Hathaway Hills Shopping Center at Jennings Station Road and I-367. This would include a sit-down restaurant. This was an informal discussion prior to applying for a conditional use permit, which is required by operating the grill. They would be storing two 30-foot box trucks on site and have agreed to screen them in compliance with section 29-89, parking and storage of certain commercial vehicles, and section 17-170, parking of trucks, trailers, etc., in certain districts of the city. They will not park refrigerated trucks and trailers on the site. Under old business, we had a visit by Chief Goldstein with North County Fire and Rescue. He announced that the fire district and River Gardens School District had come to agreement concerning the school property at 805 Chambers Road, which was the site of the old junior high school. The school district agreed to sell the 7-acre site to the fire district for $55,000. This site was the fire district's preferred location earlier in their selection process, but the two parties weren't able to agree on price. During our April meeting, attended by both the fire district and school district, it seemed like both parties might be willing to restart negotiations. The mayor brought up the subject again to the school district, and further discussions took place, finally resulting in the sale of 805 Chambers to the fire district. I think everybody concerned can consider this a welcome development. Mayor, thank you for facilitating that with the school district. That was very, very helpful. We had an ongoing discussion on activities surrounding Influence Church at 10636 Bell Fountain Road. The building department sent them a letter requiring them to schedule an inspection to restart the occupancy permit process left unfinished by Hope Church, the previous owner. The city is waiving its inspection fee. A member of the audience cited the recent collapse of the condominium tower in Florida relevant to this topic. It's extremely important they are inspected, that they pass inspection and obtain an occupancy permit as soon as possible to avoid the city becoming liable for any potential mishaps on the property. The letter which the building department sent had a response date by today, And at least as of 3 p.m. this afternoon, they had still not responded. And finally, last item of old business. This was something that I believe was recommended at the last board meeting 2 weeks ago by Wanda Lane with Planning and Zoning. We announced to members that Ms. Joy Hargrove has successfully submitted all information needed for a conditional use permit application. She's proposing to remodel the old Regions Bank drive-through at 9266 Lewis and Clark and open a food market with the drive-through facility there. And at the risk of being repetitious, I'm going to try to quickly go through our recommendation one more time. Planning and Zoning is recommending the board hold a public hearing for conditional use permit allowing Ms. Joy Hargrove to open and operate a food service establishment at 9266 Lewis and Clark Boulevard. The facility would have a walk-in market and drive-through facility for food pickup. There would be no food consumption on site and no initial plans to sell alcohol. The property is zoned C2 Commercial District. Ms. Hargrove would be the tenant on the property, owned by Larry C. Martin of Martin's Real Estate Company out of Rome, Georgia. She has provided all documentation requested, including a lease agreement with the owner, her Missouri retail sales license, certificate of organization, floor plan, and site plan. She has completed the CUP application and paid the associated application fee of $400. After meeting with Ms. Hargrove late last year and earlier this year, this is in October, December, and February, Planning and Zoning is in agreement with them and recommending the following conditions for this permit. Number one, the trash dumpster and used grease receptacle will be separated, allowing them to be dumped while not disturbing the other. Number two, there'll be no consumption of prepared food on site and no patio. This will make the facility a mercantile building classification, allowing a single ADA accessible restroom to be used. Plans provided indicate the restroom will comply with the Americans with Disabilities Act. To shield, number three, to shield adjacent residences at 1221 Long Ridge and 1236 Long Ridge. On the south side, on the east and south sides, sound and light barriers must be designed and approved by the building department as part of the building permit submittal process. And finally, number four, the City of Bellefontaine Neighbors has conditional use permit recording requirements with St. Louis County Recorder's Office. Once the conditional use permit has been recorded with the county, the applicant will provide proof of registration. Again, a new ordinance would have to be drafted similar to ordinance 2444 in 2018 for the site when Burger King was proposed there. Separately, inspections by Riverview Fire District and St. Louis County Department of Health will also be needed. Members of Planning and Zoning feel this establishment will benefit the city and appreciate the enthusiasm and hard work Ms. Hargrove is bringing to her new business. I would like to advocate for Ms. Hargrove, given the amount of effort and personal expense she has put forth to this. I would like to get a motion to have a special meeting as soon as possible. I know we don't have a quorum tonight to handle this case so that she can get the wheels rolling. Would anybody?
I object.
We can't, let me handle this, please. We can't accept a motion without a quorum. So we're not in a normal meeting where we can conduct business like that. However, I agree with you, and I will address some of that at the end, but I will try and get a special board meeting, hopefully next week, where we can do that and a couple of other things we need to do.
I appreciate it. We're trying to attract businesses to the city.
Right. And I can't wait to go to a restaurant in the city.
A sit-down restaurant, Mayor.
No restaurant, that is correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, building inspector.
I have questions for the Planning and Zoning.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, the first question is, Pat, are you elected or appointed by the mayor?
appointed and then confirmed by the board.
Okay. So this will be a yes or no question. And I want the public, so it won't be put on next door that I said anything other than what I'm saying. Do you respect and honor what the mayor puts on the agenda?
You're asking if I agree with what the mayor puts on the
Yes
agenda.
or no?
I agree that the city code is the governing law of the city.
Do you respect what?
I respect the mayor,
Okay, okay.
as I
Now-
respect all the older people.
Okay, so let me state this. Do you agree or disagree with us not having a quorum since February? Do you agree with those people that have not come to the meeting, or do you agree with what they're doing?
I wish we had a quorum.
That would be a yes or a no.
I'm not going to get into politics.
Okay, thank you. And that's what I wanted you to state, because I did read your email tonight and I have listened to you. And I don't think that you have come to any alder person and asked them about trucks being on different lots within the city of Bellefontaine Neighbors, such as up at where the old Grandpa Pigeons used to be, here at the corner of Jenny Station Road and 367 on both sides. But you investigate Influence Church. You never asked any of us, did we have any issues with any trucks? The mayor has on his agenda for the last couple of months, those that he has appointed pending board approval. And I have attended maybe 1 or 2 meetings at the planning and zoning. However, it appears that you're overlooking what the mayor has done. And I think that is very disrespectful. And I have to say this in an open meeting because we like to be respectful of everyone, as I have said before. No one is different. We all took the oath. And if the mayor has appointed any of us pending board approval, we're going to honor that. And we cannot override what he says because individuals don't want to come to the meeting. And I would hope that we will continue to respect his wishes and those of us who are elected officials who come to the meeting. Because everything that you stated in planning and zoning, nothing will ever happen. CUPs, none of the businesses will ever happen unless individuals come to the meeting. Now, we may have to have a special meeting because of that, but there's no guarantee that they're going to attend that. And it's unfair for our citizens to have to go to a special meeting because we have individuals who don't want to come to the meetings for what they elected for. So I would hope moving forward that we will honor and respect the things that are on the agenda moving forward for the mayor who is elected by the people and the other people who are elected by the people, those who are appointed or elected by the board. And sometimes we cannot overstep our boundaries. And I just hope that I'm making myself crystal clear in a loving way.
All right.
So I wanted this to be on the record so it can be said that I said anything different.
All right.
Thank you.
I recognize that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
City engineers report. I'm not sure is he in town?
Boy, that was a joke.
He's on a vacation there.
I think the city engineer is on vacation.
The building inspector next.
The building inspector?
Yes, sir.
Joe Raven, I'm sorry, and I got you checked here too, and I still overlooked. I'm sorry. Joe Raven.
His computer must be frozen. Looked like it just went out.
Okay, we'll come back to him if he comes back on.
Okay.
Engineer report. And I think he's on vacation.
He's on vacation, yes.
Chief's report.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Just a few things. One is talk about crime a little bit. Not much changes in offenses, but I do want to note that motor vehicle theft is still remaining at a low level. So I do thank those people that are securing their vehicles, not leaving them running unattended, which is usually the biggest contributory circumstance to that type of theft. Has been remained low for actually the last few months. Our calls for service went up last month and our accidents were down. But I do want to note that our ordinance enforcement was up and our motorist contacts are up as well. I'm taking a really strong stance against driving behavior. We are coming out of a time where it was viewed that society and the population was being over policed and then viewed as under policed as a pendulum swung to the other side. And we're finding balance right now. So I have our police officers, using that balance to gain compliance from people in our community and to help people solve their problems as well. One of the things that I am doing thus far concerning driving behavior is police visibility. You will notice that the police graphics have changed on the sides of the police cars. They can be more recognizable from a longer distance. That change came at no cost to the city. I have also assigned stationary patrol points throughout the city where I've identified repeat problems such as driving behavior, crime, in areas that are high risk. These points are for the police officers to sit and monitor, do their work that they can do in their cars, but they're strategic points that will hopefully deter bad driving behavior and deter crime as well. 10,205 McCartney has been a topic as of late. I followed our ordinances and the publication that was put in the community news for that address to abate the problem, which is high grass, broken down trailer, and a bunch of trash. That has expired. Nobody stepped forward for a hearing. The Department of Public Works is in the process of putting together a plan to take care of that problem. Latricia Morgan's still on the line. I wanted to make a mention about panhandlers. And I do agree with you. There are people that are struggling and we don't turn them away. I know I have talked to a couple of them on, I know at least 2 occasions down there just to check, see if they're okay. Most times they have refused help. But here's also the issue, and you can look it up in the Post-Dispatch. There was an article in May about the federal courts ruling against the practices of St. Louis County regarding solicitors and panhandlers. This has been an issue that's gone back and forth. Panhandling is fundamentally considered charitable solicitation. It is constitutionally protected. When they are on public property, we cannot make them leave solely because of that reason. Other factors at play, though, are if panhandlers impede traffic, if they disturb the peace of motorists, that is a completely different issue than the charitable solicitation itself. But the way we manage panhandlers, we just can't, we don't cite them to court, we don't arrest them because of the protections they have under law. and I haven't checked, but I got this list of pending laws that Governor Parsons is expected to sign this week. And just to go through quickly, and these were laws that were submitted last December on behalf of the St. Louis Area Police Chiefs Association that was supported by the Missouri Police Chiefs Association and I believe the Fraternal Order of Police. These laws address a lot of things that are in the favor of policing and the community. Just in short, it addresses doing proper background checks for police officers prior to hire, critical incident stress management programs. It addresses respiratory chokeholds. It addresses the use of the National Police Use of Force database, and it also covers the police officer Bill of Rights for internal investigations for discipline. And these are most of these are things that we had pushed for because we know that the community has wanted this for a long time, and we want consistency in the way we police, not just here in St. Louis, but across the state as well. Lastly, I just want to talk about community policing. And I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and it seems that the term community policing seems to be viewed or described in a different manner than what it truly is. Community policing is not about holding events and having, big special platforms to where we bring everybody together and socialize and network. The fundamentals of community policing come from the police engaging with the community to support them and help them resolve their problems. Case in point, and this is going to be a little bit long, but this will make my point clear, and this happens more often than you think.
I missed that altogether.
Through a police tip that was developed through a conversation about trying to resolve a problem at an address on Avant. It was believed that this particular house, which I can't release the specific address, was believed to be a drug house. Some investigation by our detectives and federal agents, we found out that this particular home was responsible for the distribution of approximately 100 pounds of crystal meth, 30 kilos of fentanyl, and 20 kilograms of black tar heroin. And this was on a monthly basis, mind you. That investigation took it down to Tijuana and Sonora, Mexico, which led them back up to Los Angeles. And here's the key right here. In Los Angeles, they executed a search warrant of a suspected stash house for drugs and weapons. They seized a large amount of narcotics that were destined for this area, as well as they also discovered an illegal gun manufacturer operation, 62 illegal modified, fully automatic, untraceable firearms. And to date, the investigators have seized approximately 500 pounds of crystal meth, 300 of the fentanyl, 10 of the black heroin, 3 of cocaine, 81 firearms, and about $800,000 in U.S. currency. The narcotics have an estimated street value level of over $30 million. The federal grand jury is set for this case in August next month. And investigators anticipate approximately about 31 local indictments here in the St. Louis area and an additional 65 out-of-state indictments. Of those 31 anticipated local indictments, 6 of those have multiple violent offense convictions up to and including murder. So this is what we are doing behind the scenes. And when it comes to community policing, it leads us to issues like this, things that we can eradicate our city of, drugs, weapons, high value crime that we don't want in our community because it doesn't reflect our values. That type of activity is not wanted here. So I wanted to share that with you, that community policing starts with the conversations between the police and the community, and they develop into things like this. Otherwise, Mayor, that concludes my report unless anybody's got questions.
To the chief. All right, the city attorney.
Good evening and thank you, Mayor. I do not have a report this evening.
All right, thank you. All right, that concludes the report of our departments. And let me just say a couple of words, and then we will have remarks from the Board of Aldermen, and we will have the final remarks from the community. The first thing I want to bring up and share with you is North County Fire and Rescue groundbreaking ceremony. I think Pat Barrett alluded to it, mentioned it earlier, but I just want to put some emphasis on it. I think it's a great thing that's happening in our community right there on Chambers, just off of Bell Fountain Road, to have a new firehouse setting there. I think it enhances the property around it and our city altogether. So that groundbreaking is August 7th at 12 noon. At 12 noon to 1 p.m. So everybody is I think I got that right. There's going to be two, the one on Chambers, there's one on Jenny Station Road. And I get this flyer, but the flyer is not clear about the one at the Knights of Columbus, which is 800 East Chambers. Now, I'm assuming that too is at 12 noon or 1. If someone have better information, let me know. I have this flyer that they sent me, and that's what I'm reading from. But any citizen who would like to be a part of that, please come and do so. I think it's going to be great. I think it benefit our community. Monday, I was at Margaritaville, and I did not have a margarita, but I was in Margaritaville. I was at the Missouri Brownsfield Conference. Brownfield is a surveying company. They will test soil and to determine whether or not it's safe to build on and what needs to happen if it is not, which will come in handy for us if we wanted to develop an area like where a service station was. They will come and do that testing for us. There's no cost to that. Also, I spoke to one of the engineers about our idea about developing 270 and 367. That land, even though there's nothing on it, and we don't know if anything has ever been on it, but who knows what was there 100 years ago that has been buried up there. And so that land will need to be tested before you can entice anyone to build on it. They want to eat what is an EPA testing. So they will do that for us when the time comes. Also, Missouri is one of 12 states that has not applied for this American Rescue Plan Act fund. The governor has not applied for that money, but when he does, we know that we will get right at $2 million of that money for our city. And so what I want to come up with some kind of way to survey our community as to what you would like to see that money spent on, rather than to tell you what I think. Tell me what you think. Uh, and so, but that will be coming to you soon. Again, the governor has not applied for the money, so along with 11 other states. Influence Church, we've talked about that. I'm working with the board to try and get that resolved to everybody's satisfaction. I think it can be done. I made it clear when I was there that citizens has a right to have peace and quiet in their community, in their backyard, or in their homes, or wherever. And I believe we can work that out if we put our heads together and do so. So also, I'm asking the board to call a special board meeting next week. We can have a special board meeting next week to discuss and approve the resolution for the Park and Rec grant, which is over $400,000 that we missed last year. But it has to be approved by the board because a resolution goes along with it. I mean, the resolution, and also the budget has to be passed. So if we could come together next week and pass the resolution and the budget and everything else that go along with applying for that grant. I hope that we can do that, and I believe we can. I believe we will. So Alderman Thomas will be sending out your survey of the board to sign on. I need 4 board members to call a special meeting. So I'm hoping we can get that 4 and 5 for a quorum. We get 5 people to come with good. We'll be able to discuss it and then act upon it. I've been listening closely to community concerns, like a chief addressed some of them earlier, like speeding, running stop signs, and other issues in our community that I think will stop us from being the best that we can be, that we will attract people into the city. You have the NGA downtown being built, almost finished. You got the soccer stadium down there. You have the zoo here in Spanish Lake, and Safari, which they tell me is the only one of its kind in the world. People will come here from all over the world to visit that. You got this influx of people that's coming to work at NGA. We need to prepare for them. Bear Fountain Neighbors is sitting right in the middle of that. If we could build hotels, restaurants, a convention center, shops, restaurants, office space, you name it, on that land, it would be the biggest thing that ever happened to North County. And I believe we can do it. It is not something that I'm going to do. I will suggest that, but I need a community organization. The community has to be involved in whatever go up there. Not one person telling us what we ought to do. So you'll be informed of that. Now, this is something that's, it's going to take a couple of years, but we can start doing groundwork now. And so you'll be notified, community, as to how you can participate in that. I also got those signs back that says, drive like your kids live here. Drive like your kids play here. So we're going to be giving those out. We're going to be planting them all over the city. Speed bumps, speed humps I know is an issue. One of the issues that many of us are concerned about. That is one thing, perhaps, if you choose, we could use that CARES Act money for. that the money that I mentioned earlier, um, in order to do, and lighting is another issue that I hear people talk about. So we can address all of those issues in our city when the governor signs and apply for this Rescue Act funds. That I will still ask you to give me your opinion as to how you would like to see that money spent in your community. It is to strengthen and build our community. And so I will engage the community in that. I think that's well. One other thing that because we have 4 older people who is constantly holding this city up, and I'm asking them to attend board meetings so we can conduct business properly. But if that does not happen, I am considering not approving their pay. I haven't done it yet, but it is something that I'm considering. This has to stop. We cannot keep limping along the way we are. Now, anybody want to talk to me can talk to me. It is not my city. I'm just the mayor. It is not their city. They're all the people elected to represent you in this city. And I hope that you will speak to your older person, that we can come together and run this city the way it ought to be ran. But I can promise you right now, this city will not go down whether they attend board meetings or not. I won't stand by and let it go down. And I'm gonna make sure bills are paid. When you miss 4 months, 3-4 months of board meetings, I have to pay the bills. If I didn't pay bills in 4 months, what do you think would be going on in this city? What do you think would happen? Our creditors would kick us out. Some would be trying to foreclose on some bills and items that we've not completely paid for. This city will go to hell in a handbasket if I sit up here and not pay bills. I promise you, as long as I'm mayor, bills will get paid. And anybody who think that you're going to worry me, I don't have hair already. I don't have enough hair for you to take from me. It's gone already, and it was gone when I got here. So you can give that up. And I'm not going to resign. The majority of the people who voted in the mayor's election voted for me. And I'm not going to let a handful of people stop me from being mayor. So they can say what they want to say, do what they want to do. I say the little comments, and that's fine. I'm not bothered by that. Let's run a good city. That's all I'm interested in. That's all I have. Any board, I think it's open to the board now. Yes, Board of
May I
Aldermen.
may I have a
Board
question
of Aldermen. Oh, go ahead.
about the attorney
What about
from
that?
you? From you, did you have something about the attorney?
Oh, yeah, I did mention to say that the board, the absentee board is running up attorney fees about a lot of their ideas. And I'm at this point, I'm instructing the attorney to send those letters to me because sometimes they don't let me see them. When that I can approve that before she began to spend her time trying to answer questions from absentee board members. Send them to me and I will approve them or reject them. All right. So that is that's the end of my report. Hey, all the people report now. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Okay, Alderwoman Dales.
Okay. I would like to thank everyone for coming to the meeting tonight. This past couple of weeks, we lost 2 great trailblazers. Mama Hazel Irby.
Yeah.
And former state rep Betty Thompson. I do have a proclamation for Hazel Irby, and I'm just going to read the first sentences in her honor. The City of Bellefonte Neighbors Proclamation. Whereas the City of Bellefonte Neighbors, Missouri, wish to extend our sincere condolences over the passing of our leader, former Councilwoman Hazel Irby. And whereas Council Irby's death leaves a void in our community as we mourn the loss of such a loved, honored, and respected trailblazer, leader, public servant, and friend. Mama Hazel was a very, very good friend to all of us. She fought a really, really good fight on behalf of those in her district. She left rid of days in her to continue the fight with St. Louis County, and hopefully we can retain her as our when her election comes up. On the 19th of June, we had a really, really good event for the Black History Celebration, which was also considered the Juneteenth. And we had the presence of Betty Thompson. She was there and she gave Corey Congresswoman Corey Bush an award. And that was very honorable. I would like to thank the staff, my colleagues. We have a lot of work that we're doing. And to come to the meetings, you have to care about the people first. We are here for the people. We're here for you. Know this: if they don't come to the meetings, we lose the grant for the rec center. No speed bumps, nothing. There will be no businesses if they don't come to the meeting. If anybody on this meeting, if you didn't come to your job, do you really think they would continue to pay you? And there's some comments that are on Nextdoor that are repulsive. They're lies, they're unfair, and they're one-sided. No one has all the facts on Nextdoor. You're just hearing two people state what they want to say, and most of it is not true. And they have their fans who are on this meeting now. I will hold a meeting for anyone to come, and we're going to show you all the videos. We're going to give you all the facts. We're going to show you all the emails and let you decide. We're not going to blame anybody. We're not going to talk about anybody. We're just going to give you the facts and we'll let you decide. The first thing that we're supposed to do is come to the meetings to represent the people that we serve. It's the people. The chair that we represent belongs to the people. When you put the people last and you don't pay their bills and you don't take care of their business, that is disrespectful, it's dishonorable, and in most cases, the things that are happening now is very childish. We all have our own opinions, and if you come to the meetings, you can decide to vote against something or vote for it. If you don't have your way, you don't go home and cry and say, I'm not coming back anymore, like most children do, childish minds do. I hope that everyone understands that we are really, really working hard for you. If you need any help, especially over in Ward 2, where you have no representation, we will help you. And thank you very much for coming to the meeting.
Okay. Alderwoman Tatman.
Yes, good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to say that I appreciate the tenacity and the continued attendance of our citizens. And then just a small report. Some of you may know, you may not know, we entered into a partnership with St. Louis County Public Library And we have the bookmobile that's located in Tanglewood Park every Thursday and Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. That partnership was supposed to expire at the end of December. But because of an additional partnership we added on, which was Riverview Gardens School District Summer Camp, where we were allowed to have the kids come to the bookmobile, and our children went away in 2 days with 802 books. The partnership, in totality, there's been 2,182 books that have been um, taken into our community. And because of the success of that partnership, the bookmobile will continue to be in Tanglewood Park on Chambers Road until the end of the 2021-22 school year. And so I would encourage you to go. It's not only books that are available, the books are free. They also have videos, they have ebooks, they have magazines. They also have broadband service. If you don't have that service, you can go on those 2 days and plant yourself there. Also, they have a program where if you have not received your high school diploma, not GED, high school diploma, you can sign up for that at the bookmobile, as well as getting assistance with resume preparation and a library card. I'm most excited on Fridays because Fridays is when we have healthy snacks for the children, games. We've had children who are learning how to play chess now, and of course the all famous bubble machine. So just wanted to give you accountability on that report. Also, we will be starting our meetings for our second annual Innovative Public Safety Crime Prevention Summit. This year's summit will be October the 2nd, which is a Saturday, and it will be on the Rec Center grounds. And our focus this year is, what the mayor announced earlier, is the street humps or bumps, street lighting, and minor street repairs. I want to commend, he's not here, but I still want to say it. Our street engineer has been working with myself, the mayor, and the chief for a year and a half on this project. And I'm excited that we would have an opportunity to initiate a pilot program. The chief will talk more about that for all of these items. For the street humps, one street in each ward will be identified by the chief. Same thing with the upgrading of the lighting and those small street repairs. So we have still been working towards enhancing your lives, be it crime prevention, public safety. As you know, we had a mini health fair a few weeks ago, which was very successful. Our partners was Rulers, Grocer, St. Louis County Health Department, Show Me St. Louis, and of course they partnered with us. That component will be added to the Public Safety Summit. We will start meetings Wednesday, August the 4th via Zoom. I'll be sharing that information on Nextdoor and all of my social media sites. I'm excited because the mayor has offered you to help in making decisions as far as where that money is going to be spent. And as always, I'm offering you an opportunity to come aboard and help plan for next year's summit. So I don't have anything other than that. Again, just stay tuned on Nextdoor and all my social media sites for the Zoom address. We'll be meeting every Wednesday via Zoom, 6 o'clock, like we did last year. If you want to be part of the planning committee, I'll put my information in the chat, as well as we have a robo call that we set up for the team from last year that we will be utilizing again this year. So thank you again. I hope that the work I say we because we are a team, have continued to embark on has enhanced your lives. We're just doing a small part. What we can do is offer assistance to you because that's what you elected us to do. And in spite of the legislation piece, nothing else has stopped. So thank you.
Okay, you're, okay. Alderman Thomas.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to thank all the citizens that attended tonight. At one point, we had 53 in attendance on tonight, which is great. We need to keep this up. I'd like to, really nothing much to say, other than that to let you know that the council meetings, the automatic meetings are held the first and the third Thursday of the month at 7:30 p.m. And we invite everyone to attend and bring their own ideas. Also, commissions are open. Commissions can be served on. You can find that information on the city's website. Again, continue to practice your COVID-19 restrictions, gloving, masking, as we can see every day that the numbers are still rising. The variant is attacking, and if we don't do what we're supposed to do, it could come back again. Thank you.
Okay, Mayor, that's all.
All right. Before I turn it over to the public, let me just say that when I said that board members called in the attorney, and I said 4, but I didn't say which 4. So what I want to clarify is that all board members contacted who want to contact the attorney should come through the mayor's office. You can't cry about a bill when you're driving it up. All righty. We'll turn it over to the public for the last remarks.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes. Yes,
All
go
right,
right.
Michael. Hey, sorry, Michael Weezy again, 1300 per shawl. First to you, Mayor Pearson. Thank you very much for keeping that development up there on the highway in the front of your mind. That's a big deal. And if you ever need help, I just want to remind you, I hope you know that you can call me.
Okay, thank you.
Secondly, I don't want to speak to the acrimony on the board, but it's above my pay grade. But these folks that are wanting to start these small businesses, if you guys can find some way, either with Dorothy's help or however, but I just don't want these people that want to start a business here to get jammed up. So whatever you guys can do to help those folks get going. I mean, they're good people and they want to start a business, so it's good for everybody. Thanks.
All right, Ms. Bradley. Ms. Bradley, your hand's up.
I'm sorry, I was trying to unmute. Good evening, everyone. Joyce Bradley, 1344 Shepley Drive, Ward 2. Okay. Want everyone, I'm getting a horrible feedback, but I just want everyone to know that on July the 3rd, following my second alderman meeting, I did reach out to both of my aldermen. One of them via an email. One of them responded. The other one has yet to respond. That speaks volume. When you don't even bother to respond. The mayor had no idea whatsoever that I was going to email them. I did, however, out of respect for the mayor's office, the office of the mayor, and because protocol dictates that he be CC'd in. That is when he found out. It is now the 17th of July, and I am still waiting on my second alderperson to contact me. I personally feel that this has turned into a us against them mentality. I personally feel that the city of Bellefontaine neighbors has been held hostage. I personally feel that the ball that people say people are taking and going home with does not belong to them. That ball belongs to the city of Bellefontaine. You can't take something that does not belong to you and go home with it. The city of Bellefontaine is suffering, and I think it's unfair. I don't care who likes who doesn't like whom. That does not bother me. I don't care if you don't do lunch. I don't care if you go to each other's homes. That is not my concern. I keep hearing something about a next door. I have no idea what this next door is. I heard briefly about it last week, and I might have heard something about it prior to that a couple of weeks, a couple of months ago or whatever. I am one of those people, I do not, under any circumstances, dibble or dabble in social media. That goes for Facebook, none of it, absolutely none of it, because this is the end results, what we're seeing now. And that's what I'm hearing. People are going, what they're reading on whatever this next door is. If it's not going to be used for good, for the betterment of Bellefontaine neighbor, why is it even there? What's the purpose? Now I'm going to sit patiently and wait on my alderperson, my other alderperson, who has decided to ignore me as a citizen in their ward, and see, because I know it's going to get back to them. And that is why I am speaking, to see if that other alderman will have the decency to contact me. But I think this is just horrible. This is horrible. And that's just my personal opinion. That and 50 cents will not get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks. But that's my opinion. And since I'm a grown woman, I feel I can speak my opinion. And you can't send me to my room without dinner. Thank you very much.
All righty, thank you. Also, there's some hands up, Madam Clerk. Pastor Elliott has his hand up.
Thank you, Mayor. This is Pastor DC Elliott. I live at 1137 Jolene Drive, Ward 2. So listening to everything that was going on and trying to keep my ear to the pulse of the city. Once again, as I listen, I'm challenged with how the elected officials of the city are handling communication amongst each other. I've listened through this entire call at veiled comments towards all the people who aren't here, innuendos about whether all the people should get paid or not. But what I haven't heard is how the city, in reference to the budget and what's going on with the budget, what we're trying to do, city, what's going on with that. I hear comments that are half truths, like business is not being taken care of in the city, when I know that there are special meetings being called that people are not attending, that are trying to get the important business of the city taken care of. I know the budget didn't get submitted in a timely manner so that it could be passed on time. I mean, but that's not being talked about. So I'm hearing all these veiled comments and innuendos towards people who are not on the call. And that's disturbing for me because you are the leaders of the city. You are the representatives of the people on this call. And there's more time being spent talking about people who should get paid or not paid. And those things are even being misconstrued, because if you look at the history, there has been several alder people, for whatever reason, have missed several meetings. I look to you, Mayor, and say, are you reaching out to these alder people individually and having conversations and trying to bridge the gap so that they can come, so that they can all come together and so that you can get the business taken care of for the city? I don't appreciate or like the leaders of the city commenting on other leaders in the city. Your focus should be the business of the city specifically, and that's it. This sounds like high school to me, and next door sounds like high school to me, in reference to the veil comments and things like that. One of the things that I always try to do is I try to keep things unbiased. So I'm not speaking against anybody in particular. I'm addressing the issue of leadership. I'm addressing the issue of getting business taken care of, following the rules of the city, and not tearing down people who are not there to defend themselves on the call. So I look to see the leadership of this city rise above and reach across the aisle to get the people who are not participating, or put out the information as to what the real challenges are. That's my comments for today. Thank you, Mayor, for your time, and everybody else.
Just to clarify, at least one thing you said, the budget was submitted on time. If you look at the agenda, and you'll see how long the budget has been on there, because we've not had a chance to discuss it nor pass it. And there's no point in discussing the budget when we can't have when we have a quorum to act upon it.
Can you call a special meeting? Because I know last year there were several special meetings called concerning the budget in reference to getting it prepared.
I don't think he was listening. Earlier, I'm asking for a special meeting to discuss and pass the budget next week, and also the Park and Rec grant resolution. And I think it was one other thing on it. Oh, the permit for the young lady who want to start a business in the city.
I definitely acknowledge that. I meant prior to now, but you definitely are addressing it now.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, sir, Mayor. I'm not going to make veil comments. I'm going to be very clear and very specific. If you look on our city website, you can look to see the meetings from 2012 forward. It used to be, I think, 2010, but apparently they run off. From 2012 to, I think, 2018, 2019, under your previous administration, there were 0 special meetings, 0. And from this board, there has been 30 plus special meetings. So you have to ask, why are we having these special meetings when this is city business that should be conducted at a regular board meeting, period? The only reason for a special meeting should be exactly something special or emergency. The reason we're having special meetings is because 4 aldermen have decided they are not going to attend the regular meeting. The business that we're conducting in the special meeting is business that can be conducted in a regular board meeting. There's nothing special about passing the grant, the ordinance, the resolution for the grant. That's what we do. That's part of our responsibility. But for whatever reason, these people have chosen not to do it. So I hope that's not veiled. I hope that's very clear. And the one special meeting that I know of where Avant Elliott posted the meeting 1 hour on the city door before the meeting was supposed to start, That meeting wasn't apparently intended for the public to attend because it was posted 1 hour before the alleged meeting. So your citizen is correct. There's a lot of innuendos, a lot of half truths, a lot of excuses. But from my perspective, the citizen who spoke earlier, she speaks my heart and my mind, period. And if anyone does not, in my opinion, if you support these people being paid, I suggest maybe you all take up a GoFundMe fund and pay them, not from our city fund, period. And I agree with Mr. Weezy. We should not have to have special meetings to approve for there to be a vote for a new business to open up in our city. For whatever point, I don't know what the end game is, but what I have read, and there's been 11 different reasons why they're not attending these meetings. Part of it is because things aren't getting done or rules aren't being adhered to or what have you. Let's not forget, most of what they're referring to happened on the August 12th, 2020 meeting that is still has not been deemed legal from the Missouri Attorney General's office. We're still waiting on a ruling on that. So a lot of those things that aren't being taken care of, we don't have the authority really to move forward on it anyway, because that was a meeting that was called improperly. So, the hyperbole is deafening to me. Whatever is the issue, I don't see what the negotiations are supposed to be about. You took an oath. It didn't say I will attend the meeting if the rules are followed, or if the mayor is conducting an orderly meeting, or if whatever. There are no conditions to it. It is the oath. That's why you were voted to represent us. And all of these special meetings is awfully disconcerting to the public, because we're being burdened, if we want to know what's going on, to have to attend multiple meetings. It needs to stop. Thank you, Mayor, for at least directing the information regarding the city attorney to through your desk, because Avant Elliott posted that our budget, our billing from the city attorney was over $10,000 a month. And we know who's the ringleaders in that. So thank you for at least making sure that these people don't have access to city services like that, because it's running up our bill. And I agree that if they don't attend the meetings, I never didn't get paid if I didn't go to work, and they're not going to work. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Battle.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening to the board, member of the board, and to the citizens out there. I am one of the residents that do not have any representation on that board. I live in Ward 2. And by the way, my address is 10610 Foxler Drive. I'm very concerned right now because, number one, again, I don't have any representation, but also about the finances of the city because the budget hasn't been approved. And that's something that a city can't operate without a budget. So something has to be done. And I don't know, I've been listening to other residents talk, and there was one person that said, so can you come together and try to resolve the differences, whatever they are, because I'm not sure what they are, and get this budget approved, and also, to get to just do the city's business. I'm very concerned, and you're saying that the bills are, you are paying the bills, which is a good thing, but the monies that you have in the budget, you're operating on a old budget, which, again, wouldn't work. Mayor, you said something about the ARPA, which is the American Rescue Plan Act, and you said that you wanted to get our opinion on what it should be spent on. Do you have any idea when the survey is going to come out, or when you plan to distribute the survey?
I will distribute it as soon as possible. I do not have a date that I could give you now. I have to put it together first.
Okay. And I wish the treasurer was on the in the meeting, because I have a question about the CARES Act funds. Did we spend all of that money?
No, we did not. We haven't spent any of it.
So what's the plan for that?
There is no plan at this point.
Okay. So I thought there was a time limit on that money.
No.
There's
Well,
not?
we were told to be not to spend the money right away, because the county executive in the application had the right to call for that money if he chose to. And so, to be on the safe side, we didn't spend any money, just in case he come up with something that said, well, I want the money back. But I just didn't think we need to spend that money right away anyway. But we still have, you got every dime of it.
Okay, well, I know that I remembered when you were interviewed about it, and you were saying that it was going to be spent, you were proposing that it be spent to help with defray some of the expense on public safety. Is that still the plan that do you still think that's going to happen?
No, I think so. We're going to address public safety, and to address
Okay.
safety is going to cost.
Okay. All right. Well, I have another issue too. This is something on a personal level. I've been on a list for like about 5 years to get a sidewalk repaired, because a tree is it's making the sidewalk bulge. So there has been someone out that came out and marked the sidewalk, but nothing else has been done. So I was just wondering if maybe, are you having problems with staffing, or what's going on with I'm thinking it's the street department that would handle this.
All right. What is your address?
It's 10610
Okay.
Foxler Drive.
Okay. I'll send someone out, take a look at it and report.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all that I had right now. I just wish that, things had come together. I'm just, just appalled that the 2 aldermen in our wards are not showing up. And, right now I feel that I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm trying to deal with it, but again, it takes everybody to, to kind of, work together. So hopefully, some resolve will come about. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. Peg.
Yes, thank you. Mayor, earlier in the meeting, you alluded to the fact that you had not written the letter that had gone out to the community. Who wrote that letter? I mean, you signed it, but who wrote it?
Well, Ms. Peg, I don't think you heard me correctly. I think you just made that up.
Oh, you just made it up. I see. Okay, so you wrote the letter as well as signed it.
Right.
Okay, that's all. All right, thank you.
Anyone else? All righty then.
No, I'm sorry. I have my hand up.
I'm sorry.
Okay, my name is Everisha Perry, 1200 block Danville. I heard the same thing Peg Warnett heard, that you had initially said you had not written the letter, but
I
I
heard
believe
that.
I appreciate though that you said that you did, and I appreciate that it was sent out. I just had a question, just came up to my mind just now. All the persons that aren't there, they're getting paid for the meeting, they're not attending, but does that mean whenever a special meeting is called, do they also get paid for that?
They get paid whether they show up at anything or not. They
So
still
each meeting they are
they don't
called
get,
to?
they don't get paid by the meetings. They get paid
Okay.
by the month.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad. I just thought about that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, I got a question, Mayor. First of all, does that property that you're speaking about being surveyed, I'm assuming it's the property at 367 and 270, is that owned by Bell Fountain? Also, is not, is that the property you're talking about?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I too agree with you. If you decide to spend that money, that it go towards the street bumps, lights, and the tangibles that the community could see and use. Also, I had a question for Chief. I heard him saying something about a mess house. Was that house located in Bell Fountain? I think I didn't hear it clearly. So I was wanting him to clarify, was that mess house in Bell Fountain? Also, in regards to one of the citizens' comments about the minutes from 2012 up until now, or up until a certain point, not having special meetings. Well, the reason why they aren't called special meetings, but those meetings happened, was because you had professional colleagues that got together, they handled the business, that didn't result in wasting the citizens' time to do them doing a regular board member. And you can verify that with people like the chief and all the people who were on the board prior to now that could confirm they met outside of board meetings where citizens attended to handle the business. So we don't want to put that misinformation out there as if they were handling business without special meetings. They weren't called special meetings. They were just meetings that professionals got together to handle the business that the citizens just weren't in the loop of. So I just want to put that out there. And I also agree with the gentleman, I believe he said in Ward 2, that all of the craziness back and forth, I even contributed to it, because it's just crazy how people turn the narrative to fit what they want to be the narrative that they throw out there. So I agree, the conversation should at least coming from all the people and elected officials should be that of handling the city's business, period. And I'm done.
Thank you. Ms. Wallace.
Yes, I have a question. I don't know if this is a public transportation question or not, but being new in this area, my child attends, school in the Riverview School District, but there's no city bus that goes up to the school. How can that be addressed? Like, I don't have transportation, and there are times that I need to go to the school and I have to get a lift or that. Is how can that be addressed? Like, there's no city bus that goes up to the school.
I think Metro, you'd have to send a letter to Metro. Alderman Thomas, you may can answer that. You're a former Metro guy.
I was gonna put in the chat, Ms. Wallace, if you'll, I'll send you my phone number and you give me a call. Maybe I can help you out with that.
Okay, sure will. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
All righty. thank everyone for your participation tonight. I hope you found the information that was shared with you were helpful. Beth Out Neighbors is moving forward, and things are going to get better and better as time go on. So I call the meeting to an end. Meeting's adjourned. We can't vote, but meeting's adjourned. Madam Clerk, we can end the meeting now.
Okay, goodbye.
Good night, everyone.
Night.